Good morning and welcome back to session 3 for introduction of polymers. Last class we have been discussing about what a polymer is. It is nothing but the combination of monomers. Polymerization process is the formation of monomer to a polymer, and we saw how polymers have been classified, and amongst that we saw some of the terminology such as functionality of polymers. And now in this class we are going to discuss about the introduction to polymers, nomenclature of polymers. Polymers are normally, I told you, monomers, they combine to form polymers. This monomer may be of single type, which is called as homopolymers. If the monomer taken or the polymer formed is of single type, then it is called as homopolymers, which is formed from the same monomer, homopolymers. Example, you can write a monomer like this: M1, 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 monomer of the same type. Example, you can call as polyethylene, polypropylene, etc. So, these are homopolymers. Second type is called as copolymers, where you can create two or different monomers combined to make a polymer. So, this is called as a copolymer. The copolymer can be further classified into four types. They are random, alternate, block and graft copolymer. If you see, the structures can be written like this: random. Random copolymers, or the monomers may be arranged like this: M1, M2, M2, M1. So, this is one type of monomer and this one is the second type of monomer. No definite sequence is here. No definite sequence is here. Second is block or alternate. Let us take an alternate. Monomers will be like this. You can see one monomer and the other monomer are arranged in an alternating fashion like this. So, the repeat unit will be arranged in the alternating four monomers in the sequence like this. So, this is the example of an alternating polymer, copolymer. Next we have block, where blocks of one monomeric units is arranged followed by the blocks of second monomeric unit like this. The repeat units will be like this, one block and the second block. Example is polyethylene oxide, B propylene oxide. This is one famous example for your block copolymer. Next comes graft copolymer. In a graft copolymer, the monomers are arranged in a grafted fashion, where you have M1, M1, M1. One monomer will form the block and the other monomer will be grafted onto the main chain. So, this you call it as the main chain and the other monomer will be grafted onto like this. So, this is a graft copolymer. So, we have copolymers may be random, alternate, block or graft. Here random, monomers are arranged in a random fashion. This is a random. Monomers are arranged in a random fashion. In an alternate, the repeat units are arranged in a alternate fashion, and here in block you can have blocks of one monomer followed by the other monomer. Then you have one main chain and the other monomer is grafted to this. So, this is called as the graft copolymer. And we also have cyclic polymers. The one example for cyclic polymer is cyclodextrin. the polymer that is continuous chain of chemically linked monomer, repeat units, is called as, then they form a ring. This is called as cyclic polymer. Example is cyclodextrin. So, apart from homopolymer, copolymer, we also have cyclic polymers which is found more or less rare in nature. So, this is about nomenclature. We are not going to name any polymers. Instead, we saw what is a homopolymer, what is a copolymer, what are the types of copolymer, and then what is a cyclic polymer here. Then we have another important term that is need to know, which is called as tacticity. Tacticity is the orientation. This is the orientation of the monomeric units, or you can have also functional groups. The orientation of the monomeric units or the functional groups, it may take place orderly or in an orderly or a disorderly manner with respect to main chain. Is called as the tacticity of the polymer, and this is the important factor whether you are getting stereoregular polymers or not. Tacticity is again of three types: isotactic, syndiotic, and atactic. These three are different types of tacticity. In an isotactic polymer, let us take a polymer backbone like this. Okay, so you assume this is the polymer. See, this is nothing but carbon, 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 and again you have a carbon here, another carbon, and you have the groups that is attached to the carbon like this. Okay, let us see H, 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 and this is Cl. Fine. This is a polyvinyl chloride, and again H, H, and so on. Okay. So, I am taking a polymer of polyvinyl chloride. Let us take this. Cis polyisoprene as another example. C, H, H, H. Let us take this functional group Cl. Okay. And isotactic means all the functional groups are arranged H1, H2, H3. So, H1, H2, H3, Cl, H1, H2, and so on. So, you can see similar functional groups are arranged on the same side of the polymer chain. So, this is called as isotactic polymer. Second comes syndiotic polymer, where the functional groups are arranged in transposition H1, H2. I am taking the same example H3, Cl. So, what happens here again? H2 comes here, H1, Cl, H3, and again comes H1, H2. So, if it is arranged in this type of position, you can see Cl, Cl in this position, it is called as a syndiotic polymer. Third is atactic polymer. In an atactic polymer, the functional groups may be arranged in a random fashion. And so on. See. So, if it is arranged in a random fashion, that is known as atactic polymer. So, isotactic, tacticity is nothing but the orientation of the monomeric unit or functional groups. You get highly stereoregular polymers. So, the stereoregularity of a polymer is indicated by means of its tacticity. So, either the functional groups may be arranged in a orderly or a disorderly manner with respect to the main chain. So, you can have isotactic, syndiotic, or atactic polymers. Isotactic polymer, one good example is cis polyisoprene. This is one good example of isotactic polymer. Trans polyisoprene is an example of syndiotactic polymer. Atactic polymer may be polypropylene. PP, I am indicating as PP or polypropylene is an example of atactic polymer. So, this is about the tacticity of the polymer. So far, we have seen what is a homopolymer, what is a copolymer and what is a cyclic polymer. Also, the tacticity, isotactic, syndiotactic and atactic polymers.